I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Music Theory Tuition series where I work with you step by step through the ABRSM Discovering Music Theory grades. I'll work through every single exercise and explain everything you need to know. You can access information about the books I have available to help you on my website. Go to sharonbill.com. For advert-free and longer lessons, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SharonBill. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated. You can support this channel by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SharonBill. We move on to page 17 of the Grade 2 Discovering Music Theory workbook, and we continue with the topic of triplets. And there's no new information to learn here really. It's just that now we can be made aware of the fact that a triplet can last more than one beat. It can stretch over more than one beat. It doesn't all have to happen within one unit beat. It can take up as much time of the bar as the composer requires. And so here, for example, we can see that we're counting 2 minim beats per bar. So there's beat 1, there's beat 2, and 3 minims in the time of 2 minims is the same as a semi-breve. It's taken up both beats of the bar, so those 3 notes are stretched equally over the 2 minim beats of the bar. Oh, that doesn't need a... getting carried away as I'm talking. So it's a semi-breve's worth. So if we've got beat 1, 2, it takes up the whole of that time. 1, 2 beats spread equally and given to the 3 notes, as it were. So the maths is exactly the same. So let's now continue with exercise 4, where we need to add bar lines to each of these melodies. So we're taking into account the time signature, what unit value we're counting each beat as, and then we have some triplets to account for as well. However, if you just take it a beat at a time, as it were, and diagram things through and just follow the thought process, it's simple enough. It just takes a little bit of careful thought. So here we're in common time, which is 4 crotchet beats per bar. And here we have a triplet, 2 crotchet beats. So we have 3 crotchet beats squished into the time of 2 crotchet beats. And then here we have a crotchet beat, here we have a crotchet beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There is our bar line. So beats 1 and 2 are occupied with this triplet, and then here's the second half of the bar, and then 1 crotchet, crotchet in this minim beat, crotchet. There's our 4 beats there. Let's have a try at this next one together. So we have 3 beats per bar, and each beat is a crotchet. So we're looking for 3 crotchet beats per bar, or whatever adds up to the same amount of time. Of course, a composer won't want to be restricted to literally 3 crotchets. It's 3 crotchet beats, and however the timing divides amongst those crotchet beats. So here we have 3 quavers with a triplet, so that's 3 quaver beats in the time of 2 quaver beats, which we know is 1 crotchet beat. So there is 1 crotchet beat, and that also is why they are beamed together to show 1 crotchet beat's worth. We know from previous grade 1 that we beam to show each crotchet beat in this time signature when there's a mixture of notes. So 1 crotchet beat, 1 crotchet beat, 1 crotchet beat. So there's 1, 2, 3 bar line. And then we know that a quaver and a quaver gives us a crotchet. And we know that a minim divides into 2 crotchets, so there's a 1, 2, 3 for the final bar. And the fact that we know this final bar is complete gives us a reassurance that this first bar is complete. If we end up with the wrong number of beats in this last bar, we know that something's gone wrong previously. So here we're still counting in crotchet beats for exercise C, and we're looking for 2 crotchet beats per bar. So our first beat is a triplet, 3 quaver beats squished into the time of 2 quaver beats, and we know that 2 quaver beats is the equivalent to 1 crotchet beat, so there's our crotchet. Now we have 2 quaver beats just as they are, so 2 quavers equals a crotchet. So there's beat 1, there's beat 2. That's complete, that bar is. And then here we have another triplet, and again we have a quaver, and a quaver rest, which is just the same as if we got a quaver note, but it's silence. The composer wants silence, but mathematically it's exactly the same. 3 quaver beats in the time of 2 quaver beats, which we know is 1 crotchet. So there's our first crotchet beat, and then we know that 2 quavers is a crotchet, so 1, 2. Again, we have 3 quaver beats in the time of 2 quaver beats, just as before, which is 1 crotchet, so there's a crotchet beat. And then quaver, quaver is a crotchet, so beat 1, beat 2. And then 2 quavers is a crotchet's worth, and there's a crotchet beat rest. So there's our final 2 beats, and that bar's correct, so we know that that's not gone wrong. A final double check that it adds up right till the end. So now we're in this time signature of 2 over 2, which is counting 2 minim beats per bar. And so here is beat 1, here is beat 2, so that's that first bar, nice and simple. And then we have 3 crotchet beats with a triplet, which means 3 crotchet beats in the time of 2 crotchet beats, which we know 2 crotchets is the equivalent to a minim. So that's 3 crotchet beats within 1 minim beat squished with this triplet, so there's beat 1. And then crotchet, crotchet gives us another quaver beat, so there's beat 2. There's our bar line. And then 3 crotchet beats in the time of 2 because of this triplet, which we know is 1 minim's beats worth. Now here we have a crotchet, and then half as much again is a quaver's worth. With this next quaver gives us another crotchet beat, and we know that crotchet, crotchet is a minim. Call that in. We got, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was right before. Quaver, quaver gives us a crotchet, and altogether that's a minim. That's it. Overthinking that. And then there's our bar line. Minim beat 1, minim beat 2. And then here's minim beat 1, and minim beat 2 is a rest, and that's correct. So moving on, now we're in quaver beats. So we're counting 3 quaver beats per bar. So the first bar, 1, 2, 3, 3 quavers, nice and simple. However, it's going to get more interesting because the composer doesn't want to just have plain old quavers the whole time, ordinarily. So here we have 3 semiquavers with a triplet, 3 semiquavers in the time of 2 semiquavers, which means 1 quaver beat. And then we know that a crotchet divides into 2 quaver beats. So 1, 2, 3, there's our next bar line. And then let's see here, semiquaver, semiquaver is a quaver. Semiquaver, semiquaver is a quaver. There's our third quaver beat, 1, 2, 3, bar line. 3 semiquavers with a triplet means 3 semiquaver beats in the time of 2 semiquaver beats, which we know is 1 quaver. So there's the first quaver beat, and then we know that a crotchet divides into quaver, quaver. So 1, 2, 3, our final bar is correct, and that's reassuring, all is well. And then finally, we have 4 beats per bar, and each beat is a minim beat. So there's beat 1, there's beat 2. Now here we have 3 minim beats in the time of 2 minim beats, which is the same as 1 semi-breve, isn't it? But 1, 2, 3, 4, there is our bar line. So the triplet's taken up the final half of that bar. Then we have 2 crotchets here, which is a minim beat. There's a minim beat, and we know that a semi-breve divides into 2 minims. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our bar line. Here we have 3 minim beats as a triplet. So 3 minim beats into the time of 2 minim beats. And then here we have crotchet, crotchet, which is a minim. And then here's another minim beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our bar line. And then here we have a semi-breve, which we know is worth 2 minim beats. And then we have a semi-breve rest, which is exactly the same amount of time as silence. And that's that bar completed. That's that exercise completed. And that's page 17 now completed. I hope this is helpful to your studies. Please do like and subscribe to stay updated. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee. And for advert-free lessons, you can become a patron. Do visit my website where you'll find many resources available to help you. Visit sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.